And this book, here's your tangible lesson. Are you ready? You know the challenge to drink more water? Nobody likes to drink water. It doesn't taste good. So Stephanie McMahon, one of the many that he interviews in the book, that's the World Wrestling Entertainment, Stephanie McMahon, says she frequently throughout the day takes a bottle of water and chugs it. She said, don't sip it, chug it. And so for 3 days, I've been chugging water. And I think it's a smart move. So this guy has practical stuff. We're going to begin on page 7, because you have to begin with his questions to understand the book. All right, on the left, page 7. When you are stuck, and you will be stuck, maybe even you're suffering, ask for help from your mentors, even if you don't know them personally. Seek and you will find. And so he was stuck. He was having some difficulty. And he said, I need to ask for help. And then he got an idea. You know, I've had a lot of people on my podcast. He's had 200 million downloads of his podcast. And he said, I'm going to ask them all some questions. He emailed them and said, can I ask you some questions? And some people said no. And there are a couple of chapters in here on how to say no. And he sent them all the same 11 questions. And out of it came this book, Tribe of Mentors, Short Life Advice from the Best in the World. These are accomplished people. This is something of a self-help book. Make that a self-help book with the wisdom of great mentors to help you in the process. And Tim Ferriss is the great experimenter. He does all sorts of things to experiment with life. He's the great learner. He's the great people asker and the wild man. And he was stuck. He decided to ask for help. He came up with a fantasy wish list of people to answer his questions, and he came up with 11 questions. If I were you, I'd put a box around these 11 questions. This is the heart of the value of this book. Here they are. What is the book or books you've given most as a gift, and why? What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life in the past 6 months? And when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, or you have lost your focus temporarily, what do you do? If helpful, what questions do you ask yourself? So those are the questions, and as you read through the book, you get a lot of answers. And I'm going to give you a tip, and I didn't write it down anywhere on here. If you go to Tim Ferriss's website, he will summarize some of the answers. These are the books most mentioned. These are the purchases most mentioned. It's worth perusing. Find it on his website. Why is this book worth our time? Sometimes we need to seek, to ask for advice from people we respect. We need direction. This book provides multiple entries into such advice. What are the lessons and takeaways? Number 1, ask questions of people with wisdom and then listen to them. Read more books. In other words, always aim at self-improvement. I think it's worth getting this book just to read it by dipping in occasionally. Tribe of Mentors, Tim Ferriss. Hope you found this useful. Thank you.